Hello and welcome to Find Out Nation. I'm one of your hosts, Jamie,
I'm one of your hosts, Nicole.
and we're here to talk about what happens when a nation starts fucking around and finding out. Nicole. We're at a record number of countdowns, count ups,
We
count
really
overs. 4 we are at now.
4. But first, hold on. Before we do any countdowns, I just want to say to my bestie that I do this podcast with, who got me cute little crumble cookies for my birthday, and I brought 2 of them to eat during this podcast because it's my fucking birthday week and I'm going to do whatever I want.
That's right, bitch. It is your birthday week and you get to eat crumble cookies all day long if that's what you want to do.
Right. It's exactly right. Okay, now we'll do our countdowns, whatever. Yes, but I had to give you the shout out for my cookies.
Of course.
Okay. We are 201 day away from the midterms. 201.
Thank God.
We're so close. We're going to be so less than 200 the next time we pod.
I know. And that will sound glorious.
You really will.
That will sound glorious.
And you know how summer goes? Like, This is my birthday week. Pretty soon we're going to be doing your birthday week. And then we're going to be like at fucking 60 days or some bullshit. 90 days, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to be crazy. Summer always goes so fast.
That's right. And how much trouble can Trump really get into over the summer?
Well, none if he'd hurry up and take a dirt nap.
No shit. I was reading something on Facebook that was like, can this guy just fucking die already? And I was like, oh my God. And it was like an 11-year-old who said it. And I was
my God.
Oh my God.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
okay,
we try not to advocate for anyone's demise.
Death. Yes.
But I will say the Iranian doctored photo of Trump as Jesus, where the real Jesus comes and knocks him into hell, did not make me sad.
I just can't take any of it anymore. I can't take the gaudy ass gold signs outside the West Wing for fucking Dementia Dawn to know where he is all the time. Like, I just can't fucking take it anymore. It's making me crazy.
And the new plans for the 200. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay. Sorry. Yes. We are 450 in to this shit show of presidency.
Okay. That's nice. Cause that's well in. Like we are well into. Okay.
Yes. We are 46 days into the Iran war.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. And we are 60 days into the government shutdown.
60 days into the government shutdown.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about the DHS shutdown in a moment.
Okay, I'm going to eat a cookie. Try to pretend like we're not in this timeline of our lives.
Okay, to your point, Trump and the Pope embattled was not anywhere near my bingo card. Like, what?
No.
The actual fuckity fuck.
No. Not on my card.
No.
Also, you go.
Pope Leo I'm just going to give an overview for anyone who's living under a rock. I'm going to give an overview of like what's happened. But most of you probably know this. Pope Leo had made his opinion on the Iran war very clear. Mm-hmm. He came out and said that scripture says we have to be peaceful. He said scripture says people starting a war will have blood on their hands. He spoke to a reporter saying he hopes Trump has an off-ramp to the war. Like, it's all about like negotiation and peace. And he didn't say anything super political. He didn't say anything directly addressing Trump or Vance other than, I hope Trump has an off-ramp, right? Like, it was pretty respectful.
Held a mirror up to them and said, here's scripture. Take a look and see if you think you're meeting what scripture says.
Exactly. So Trump on Sunday, late Sunday night, like I woke up to this on Monday morning, goes on a long rant on Truth Social, and it's long. Pope Leo is weak. W-E-A-K is capitalized.
Oh my God.
On crime and terrible for foreign policy.
Wait, can we just stop there for a second? What does that even mean? He is the Pope. What does being how can a Pope be weak on crime and economic policy?
Foreign.
Is that what he said?
Terrible for foreign policy.
Foreign policy. Like, that's not even, neither of those things are the purview of the Pope.
Right. What have we expected our popes to do in the past that Pope Leo is so weak on? I don't know. He talks about fear of the Trump administration.
Oh.
But doesn't mention the fear, capitalized, that the Catholic Church and all other Christian organizations had during COVID, when they were arresting priests, ministers, and everybody else for holding church services, even when going outside and being 10 and even 20 feet apart. Okay, we're rambling.
Right.
I like his brother Louis much better than I like him, because Louis is all MAGA. He gets it and Leo doesn't! Exclamation point.
Oh my God.
I don't want a pope who thinks it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon. I don't want a pope who thinks it's terrible that America attacked Venezuela, a country that was sending massive amounts of drugs in the United States, which has never been proven ever. Right. There's been no proof of this in any way, shape, or form.
That's exactly right.
A country, and even worse, emptying their prisons, including murderers, drug dealers, and killers, into our country.
Again, unproven.
Okay. And I don't want a pope. This is where it gets unhinged for me.
I don't want a pope. Oh my God.
I don't want a pope who criticizes the president of the United States because I'm doing exactly what I was elected in a landslide, which is capitalized, to do, setting record low numbers in crime and creating the greatest stock market in history. Leo should be thankful because, as everyone knows, he was a shocking surprise. He wasn't on any list to be pope, which they've come out and said is untrue, and was only put there by the church because he was an American, and they thought that would be the best way to deal with President Donald J. Trump.
Tell me you don't know how conclave works and how the papacy works? Like, he had to be a cardinal. Like, you have to work your way up to, he could watch He could watch the movie.
My girl.
That explains it.
He could watch the movie. If I wasn't in the White House, Leo wouldn't be in the Vatican.
Oh, interesting. So now Pope Leo's got Trump to thank for being Pope?
Indeed. Like,
got it.
This is the real Trump derangement syndrome right fucking here. Anyway, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, Leo's weak on crime, weak on nuclear weapons does not sit well with me, nor does the fact that he meets with Obama sympathizers like David Axelrod, a loser from the left who is one of those who wanted churchgoers and clerics to be arrested. Leo should get his act together as Pope, use common sense, stop catering to the radical left, and focus on being a great Pope, not a politician. It's hurting him very badly, and more importantly, it's hurting the Catholic Church. President Donald J. Trump. Okay, the fact that this man signs every twat with President Donald J. Trump.
Thank you for your attention.
Absolutely.
Yes. I love, because JD Vance has come out and said, like, the Pope needs to sit down and shut up and stay in his lane. Tom Homan's come out and said, Pope needs to sit down, shut up, and stay in his lane. I love this because we've got no problem when Hillsdale College wants to get involved in our politics. We've got no problem when Liberty University wants to get involved in our fucking politics. Like, we're all for the national, the Christian nationalists getting involved in our fucking politics.
Okay. But it doesn't end there, Nicole.
Oh, wait, there's more?
There's the Jesus picture.
Christ. Oh, where he pretends to be Clara Barton? Is that the picture you're referring to?
The one where he is Jesus, indeed.
That's not who he is. He told you who he was.
I know. So he puts up this AI generated image of himself as Jesus fucking Christ.
Which he did the same thing as Pope. Before Pope Leo became Pope.
So Trump sympathizers are quick to point out that he did it when he posted himself as picture of Pope. Like, why is everyone freaking out now?
No. Oh my God.
Right. So for anyone, again, who has been in a coma for the last week and has not seen it, he's I'll try and post it for those of you who are on YouTube, but he's in a white robe with a red sash.
Typical Jesus costume.
Emanating behind him, behind his head and out of both of his hands. He's got his hand placed on a man's head who's in bed. There are a bunch of people looking at him with clouds, and he's got demons floating behind him. There's even someone praying as they look at Donald Trump.
Gross.
It is a wild picture. It is a wild, like, every time, those pictures that are like, every time you see something else in this picture, it becomes weirder and weirder.
Yeah, you just find something else. Yeah.
Yes. This is the Donald Trump picture. But all of a sudden, people are fucking pissed.
Yeah, livid.
Several conservative bloggers tell him he needs to take it down. Like the Knights Templar, who is remarkably right-wing and said they were huge Trump supporters, are incensed about it. Marjorie Taylor Greene comes out and says, I sure hope this is a joke because I'm praying for him to realize how stupid he is. A journalist with the Christian Broadcasting Network came out and said it crossed a line. Even Riley Gaines, which this really ties up this whole story quite nicely. Mm-hmm. So Riley Gaines, who gained national attention as a right-wing person. Mm-hmm. What do you call it? Like when someone's
provocateur? Well, it was over the... Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. She became the poster child.
There you go.
Of anti-trans sentiment because she was a collegiate swimmer who was super pissed when she tied for 5th place in a 5th,
which is the best place. Ever.
I'm like, girl, it wasn't 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. It was 5th fucking place.
Newsflash, bitch. 5th place is the 4th loser.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, you clearly
was highly outspoken against trans women competing in sports, collegiate sports, because she tied for 5th with a trans woman. Anyway, she came up and said, excuse me, she retweets the picture and says, why? Seriously, thank you. I cannot understand why he'd post this. Is he looking for a response? Does he actually think this? Either way, 2 things are true. 1, a little humility would serve him well. And 2, God shall not be mocked. CBS asked Trump what he thinks about Riley Gaines making that comment. And he says, I don't listen to Riley Gaines. I'm not a big fan of Riley, actually.
Oh.
He says this the same day that she says she still loves President Trump and is so thankful for his presidency that he's in the Oval Office. This is the Trump derangement syndrome we've all been talking about. So finally, on Monday, he removes the picture.
Yeah.
That same day, he has DoorDash Grandma.
Yes.
Visit the White House.
Yes.
So they have this huge staged press conference where DoorDash Grandma comes and knocks on the White House Oval Office window back door. And it's like,
thank God the gold signs were there. She wouldn't have known. Which door to knock on. She'd just been randomly walking around.
Well, and luckily the new ballroom doesn't have any doors, so she would not get confused there.
True. Yeah, good thing that the East Wing's completely gone. It was one less area for her to be, looking for a way in.
Confused about. That's right. So she she brings her McDonald's DoorDash to his little office door.
Jesus Christ, that it was fucking... I mean, I should have known it was going to be McDonald's, but when I saw the bags, I'm like, oh, gee. Fucking...
Well, and...
RFK Jr.'s probably broking out.
Yes, and those bags look like they were filled with Happy Meals. I was like, did he order a Happy Meal?
Yeah. I mean...
it looked like a Happy Meal. Anyway.
Yeah.
So they finally and she's there to tout the benefits of no tax on tips and how it saved her. She was able to, she said it saved her $11,000, but really it sounded like she wasn't taxed on $11,000.
Oh, yeah.
Of right tip money, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. And so she's really excited about this. During the conversation, Trump asks her about, and men, the radical left wants men competing with women in college sports. Can you believe that? And he turns to Grandma, DoorDash Grandma is like, I bet you have an opinion on that. And she's like, I do not. I'm here to talk about no tax on tips.
Take your Big Mac and shut the fuck up.
Exactly. And he's like, well, I bet you do have an opinion. And she's like, I really don't.
Oh,
it was God. And if you keep asking, hilarious. My opinion is going to be, I don't give a fuck about trans athletes, which at the end of the day, I think that's how
most Americans feel that way. Yeah.
So then when asked about the fucking picture, to your point, he tells reporters that he thought that it was a picture of him as a Red Cross worker, which
a Red Cross doctor. He said Red Cross doctor, girl.
So I thought he said doctor as well, but when I went back and listened to it, I was like, did he say doctor or worker? Either way.
Yeah. Has he never seen a photo of a Red Cross worker?
And how stupid do you think we all are?
That's exactly right. He thinks we're all fucking stupid. That's what I told my family. I'm like, he thinks he's Clara Barton over here, fucking creator of Red Cross. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right. Like, at the end of the day, this is his gaslighting and I want all these politicians, whether you're Marjorie Taylor Greene or you're Donald Trump or you're anyone else, to realize everyone sees through your lies.
Well, yeah.
Whether it's the Epstein files, whether it's we're almost done with the Iran war.
Yeah.
You keep claiming fake news.
Yeah.
And then he finally said it was fake news that was generating all of the references to Jesus, and like it's fake news's fault. And I'm like, you keep saying fake news. I need you to know nobody is that stupid. Nobody is that stupid.
We all see it. But this is what fascists do, that you can't trust what you see. You can't trust what you hear. You have to wait for them to tell you what you saw and what you heard. And you're supposed to believe that. But wait, did you pick up that that DoorDash grandma testified before Congress last year?
Well,
during the One Big Beautiful Bill,
no tax on tips. Like this is a thing she's really big on, is no tax on tips. So to your point, like she did, and it was obviously staged. Like we knew it was staged.
Yeah.
But she had been testifying on the no tax on tips as a DoorDash representative, as a DoorDash, like as a one-time DoorDash driver.
Yeah.
And so like, I get it. I get the idea that this is a big thing for them. And again, if Trump were running on these types of policies, like the funny thing is that when you ask someone who's a Trump supporter, what do you support about him? And they'll say his economic policies, and you'll say, what exactly? They don't point to this kind of thing. They never do. Like if this was what they pointed to, and these were the policies that he was like, I would love to work with Democrats to expand these types of things, that would be a totally different story, but it's not.
Right.
The reality is he wants to give these small, tiny things to distract from the fact that we're also giving billions of dollars of tax cuts to the wealthy.
Yep.
And now we're trying to use these reconciliation bills to shove all these dollars into military spending. And we're trying to hide it all with these things that are like no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. So you're right. It's just typical of fascists to do this. And it's just typical of Trump to like, anyway. So yes, she has been. But back to the Pope.
Oh, yes, the Pope. I forgot that's what started us here.
I know. So Leo responds on Monday. And it should be noted, too, that like a lot of Republicans are saying that, a lot of the right is voicing their frustration specifically about this picture of Jesus. But in reality, this is like the straw that broke the camel's back. Like there's a lot of frustration that Republicans have. And this is the thing that they can point to right now. I don't know if that's true or not. The fact that like he's a pedophile and he's a rapist and he's a sexual assault person, like isn't the straw that broke the camel's back?
Okay.
Makes me really question these so-called Christians, but sure. Okay.
I had a conversation today with one of the guys that I used to work with about this very thing, because his cousin and her husband, staunch Trump supporters, they are immigrant family, but like his mother, you know what I mean? Like they're all born here. Okay.
Yeah.
But she stands firm and literally said to my friend, sorry, excuse me, that she will continue to support him until her son gets drafted. Until then, she's all in. And I said, so it doesn't matter, and my friend is very much on our side of the fence, very much like, this shit makes no fucking sense. And I'm like, so it doesn't matter that he's a rapist. It doesn't matter that he's a stone cold racist. It doesn't matter that he's a pedophile. It doesn't matter that his policies are destroying this country and making things untenable for people. None of that matters until her child gets drafted. And then we can't support him. And he goes, yep, that's exactly how she feels. It's fucking wild.
That is wild. That is wild. Okay.
I don't understand it.
Well,
sorry. No,
I mean, in all fairness, so I've been like listening to Dean Withers to try and like hear, because he debates people, on his YouTube channel.
Oh.
And so like, because I listened to Tangled podcast.
Yeah.
I read from both the right and the left. I was on Fox News when I'm researching stuff today. Like I try and hear what both sides are saying so that I can like understand where the right is coming from.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, to your point, it's like when they talk about the rape allegations, it's like, well, it was all the Democrat, like they're saying all the things, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they'll be like, well, he wasn't convicted. Ma'am, he was convicted.
Mm-hmm.
So like, those are the things, or like they only heard a headline that was like, oh, E. Jean Carroll had ulterior motives. And sure, he was in like the dressing rooms of Miss USA, but he wasn't lurking. Like he was just there. He wasn't looking, even though like the soundbite very clearly is like, I get to stand there and look at the girls naked and I get to whatever for longer periods of time. Like, so anyway, so it is interesting to hear what other people are saying.
Yeah.
But now that her son is automatically enrolled for being in the draft,
automatically signed up. Yes.
Yeah. I wonder how she's going to feel about that. And what if he raped her son? Would that change her mind?
Right. Would she still be okay with it? As long as he didn't have to go to war?
Okay with it? Right. Okay. Back to the Pope.
Yes. Sorry.
So Pope Leo responds on Monday about everything that happened while talking to reporters that I have no fear of the Trump administration. Because remember, at the very beginning, Trump was like, Leo says that he fears the Trump administration. He says, I have no fear of the Trump administration. I will continue to speak out loudly against war, looking to promote peace, promoting dialogue, and multilateral relationships among the states to look for just solutions to problems. Okay, that day, there's back and forth where Leo's like, I'm not trying to be a politician. I'm only encouraging peace. A bishop in Minnesota goes on social media and says he thinks Trump should apologize to Leo. A reporter asks Trump about it, and Trump is like, absolutely not. Leo is wrong, blah, blah, blah. And then,
oh God,
JD Couch fucking
Vance. Yes. Who is a Catholic?
Who's a Catholic as of 2019. Goes to this Turning Point event, which if you see the audience is embarrassingly attended.
Oh, I heard that it was like really bad. Yeah.
Yes. He has the audacity to say, I think it's very, very important for the Pope to be careful when he talks about matters of theology.
I'm sorry. What?
If you're going to opine on matters of theology,
you've
got to be careful. You've got to be sure it's anchored in the truth. And that's one of the things that I try to do. And that's certainly something I would expect from the clergy.
I'm sorry. You might want to crack open the Bible, JD.
No. JD Vance is more honest about when he's giving opinions about theology than the Pope.
Jesus Christ.
The U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops responds, when Pope Leo speaks as Supreme Pastor of the Universal Church, he is not merely offering opinions on theology. He is preaching the gospel and exercising his ministry as the vicar of Christ. Vance also described the tweet as a joke and just said it fell on deaf ears.
Why is that always... So I have two thoughts, but one, why is that always their fucking go-to when he does something that implodes?
I don't know.
That actually gets their base riled up and pissed off at them. Then it's always, you guys just can't take a fucking joke. You're as bad as the left. Like, this was all just a joke, and you're all too fucking stupid to realize it's a joke. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Instead of the mad rantings of the Mad King who won't go the fuck to bed.
Speaking of Mad King.
Yeah.
Trump then retweets another AI picture of himself with Jesus today.
No, he did not.
I shit you not.
What?
It is a picture like if Jesus were right here and he's right here and they've got their little heads together and Jesus has his hand over his heart.
Oh, I'm looking at it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Gross. And Trump obviously used a filter on his face because his face is unlined.
So technically Trump did not create this AI image.
Yes, but
someone
I'm just
else
saying,
did.
like, oh.
And then he retweets it, but he writes it as, the radical left lunatics might not like this, but I think it's quite nice. 3 exclamation points.
Oh my God.
Yeah, girl. So we are unhinged. There was an article today in CNN about how Notre Dame is struggling with how Trump is dealing with the Pope because, of course, Notre Dame immediately capitulated to all of Trump's bullshit on DEI and college and this and that in an effort to really appeal to him. So now it's like they don't know if they should support Trump, if they should support the Pope. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? And by Notre Dame, I'm saying Notre Dame University. And so like it's become a whole thing. I'm waiting for the next picture of Trump as Jesus. I
think I'm waiting for them to figure out that they don't look at Catholicism as a Christian religion. Like,
I guess.
How long is it going to take before they figure that out? That they don't consider that a Christian religion? We're 2 steps from there. Are they going to figure it out? You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah. Well, to your point, nobody said a fucking word when he was battling with the Pope.
Right.
They didn't freak out until Trump, in a response to the Pope, posted himself as Jesus, and now it's, oh shit, you better not.
Yeah.
This man is so fucking unhinged. It's comical.
Yeah.
Do you know, last I read, his approval rating is at 39%.
Is it really?
And
I love that.
And Stephen Miller's approval rating is at 17.
How are even 17% of people approving of him?
I don't know. But at this point, it's like, it's just it's
Jesus
comical.
Christ.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned before that we are currently still in the Iran war, although we're currently 1 week into a 2-week ceasefire.
Yeah.
Last weekend, talks in Pakistan between couch fucker JD Vance.
I was getting ready to say the head Catholic.
The head Catholic, yep. They failed miserably, and by Sunday morning, everyone was going home.
Shocker.
The major sticking points are the U.S. demands for reopening the Strait of Hormuz and giving up their uranium, Iran giving up their uranium. Iran is asking for U.S. to lift its sanctions and unfreeze billions of dollars in frozen assets in U.S. banks. As we reported on last week, Iran has been letting some oil tankers through with a hefty toll to be paid, like up to $2 million. So to combat this toll, Trump said, fine, then we're going to put up a naval blockade and nobody can go in or out. Oil prices immediately spiked back up. They are now at $104 a barrel. Trump's claiming that China is super happy. He posted on Truth Social, China is very happy that I'm permanently opening the Strait of Hormuz. I am doing it for them also and the world. This situation will never happen again. They've agreed not to send weapons to Iran. Hang on, I got a bug that I have to kill. President Xi will give me a big fat hug when I get there in a few weeks.
Oh my God.
We are working together smartly and very well. Doesn't that beat fighting? Dude, you're the dipshit that started this war, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, and
but remember, we are very good at fighting if we have to. Far better than anyone else.
Don't you
President
forget.
DJT. Which I kind of want to say DJ Tanner. Every time he says Donald J. Trump, I want to say DJ Tanner.
Yes. Call him the Deej.
Call him the Deej. But at the end of the day, like, so the whole point is we're going to shut down the strait entirely, shut down Iran entirely, so that financially they're forced to
capitulate,
negotiate with us.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't have as quick a timeline as the ceasefire has. And Iran's like, okay, well, so all we have to do is wait it out. Like, all we have to do is wait this out.
I guess I don't understand where we have the right to do a naval blockade on open water that doesn't belong to us.
So what we're technically blockading is ports into Iran, but, well, you know, to be perfectly honest, I know that they're like, if you're planning on coming to Iran or you're leaving Iranian water, that's what they're blockading. And I guess the Strait of Hormuz is co-owned by Iran. And so they're saying that they have the right to blockade it. I don't know. But the reality is that, like, we're putting in a blockade. Like, maybe that's what we should have done in the first place instead of just starting to bomb people. Because at this point, you have 1 week left of a ceasefire. You're going to attempt to negotiate again this weekend. JD Vance is on the case. Couch fucker JD Vance is on the case.
He's on the case.
Which we know it's not going to go well.
No.
Senator Mark Warner, a Virginia Democrat, said on State of the Union, I don't understand how blockading the strait is going to somehow push the Iranians into opening it. I don't get the connection there. And he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Like, the best thing we can say is the hope is that they become so financially crippled that they, like, capitulate. But the reality is like, it's fucking with everybody's economy, not just Iran.
That's exactly right.
So, like, at the end of the day, everyone is fucked. At least when Iran had the strait open and was allowing people to pay money to get their shit out, they could get their shit out, their oil tankers out. Yeah. And other people could get in and out, but we can't do that now.
Australia has gone to COVID era mandates.
Yeah.
People are being forced to work from home. They're asking people to only ride public transit if they can, walk where they can, because they don't have enough gasoline. And what they do have is so goddamn expensive, people can't afford it. There's been a rush on food at the grocery stores because the price of their groceries is going up. Like, none of this is making us any friends anywhere in the world.
So to your point, U.S. inflation went from 2.2% in February to 3.4% in March because of this fucking war.
Yeah.
And the gas prices, the oil prices. So we are stuck in Iran war hell. Trump apparently is still door dashing as much as he wants.
Yeah. And don't forget that Saturday, while JD Vance was out here whiffing it in Pakistan, JD Vance and Rubio were at the UFC fawning over, you know, these gross dude UFC fighters. Trump telling him telling this one fighter how beautiful he is, that he's too beautiful to be fighting. Like, just take him in the back and fuck him already. Yeah, girl, it's on video. Fucking Dana White having to hold Trump's hand as they're coming out from the back to the ring because he stumbled. Like, everybody around him knows he is not well. He's not well mentally. He is not well physically. And they're all fucking covering it up. Do you know what I mean?
So he told one of...
Yes. So one of the fighters... Yes. One of the fighters is squatted down. He's all sweaty and gross. So I assume it was after a fight, but I'm not really sure. He's squatted down like he's kind of above Trump a little bit because Trump's sitting in a chair, right? Because they don't want to let Peepaw stand up. He's a fall risk.
Clearly.
So this guy's like squatted down above him, and Trump is like patting him on the leg, and he's telling him, that was a great fight. You're so beautiful. Like, you're too pretty to fight. Like, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, just take him in the back and fuck him already. Like, it's fine.
We all know what Victoria's Secret is.
Exactly.
They're all men.
Exactly. Yes. So, yeah. But, you know, don't worry. Trump's totally got this Iran war thing front of his mind. He's super concerned about it. Really wants to make sure we get this done. You know, while him and Rubio are, you know, out here at the fucking UFC and Vance is whiffing it in Pakistan. Like all of this shit of like Trump's available all the time. Because Vance was saying, like, I talked to Trump repeatedly about the negotiations while they were ongoing. You're a fucking liar. He was at the UFC fight. What are you talking about?
And to your point, I believe that maybe they are texting back and forth, but you know how Trump is. It's sort of like what he's done with the DHS. Just get it done. These are my demands. You can't sway for them. So to your point, negotiation with Iran is got to be a joke, because I guarantee you that one of the things that Iran has said is you cannot continue bombing us or Lebanon. And Netanyahu has told, because I'm all in on the Netanyahu knows the Epstein reality and is holding this over Trump and forcing Trump to participate in this war. And that's why we're at war with them. It's all tied together.
Yeah.
1000% conspiracy theorists there. But the reality is like, I guarantee you Trump's like, absolutely not. I'm not negotiating this. And
the fact that Vance went to Hungary and meddled in Hungary's elections and Orban lost. And then he goes to fucking Pakistan to try to negotiate this peace deal and he whiffs it there. Like, maybe we stop sending Vance. And also the idea that like maybe Iran would capitulate if we, cut off their, if we economically crush them. I mean, who's to say that they wouldn't pull in North Korea? Because North Korea is totally fine with letting their people starve to death. They don't give a fuck.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know that Iran would be that way, but we don't know. Let's not find out. What I do know is we have no problem fucking bombing civilian targets that have nothing to do with why we're supposedly in this war.
100%. And the reality is like, you have Trump out there talking about bombing civilian targets, now bombing power plants, bombing bridges, blah, blah, blah. And the fact that all of this rests on a couch fucker.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's who our negotiator is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I'll be honest. I don't mind sending in Vance when we want something to fail. So I'm perfectly fine with
I love this for him because, this is just going to make it even better for the attack ads.
Well, yeah. And anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Okay. All right. So you mentioned earlier that it was your birthday on Monday.
Yes. Yes.
And Pammy Joe skipped your fucking birthday party on Tuesday.
She's such a cunt.
She is a cunt.
We even got a formal invite and she still fucking didn't show. What a bitch.
She skipped her congressional hearing. We reported last week about how she was subpoenaed and the DOJ came and said, oh, that no longer applies because she is no longer leading the DOJ.
Which is hilarious.
Hilarious. James Comer has not really spoken about where he's at with this, but I can tell you that the top-ranking Democrat on the House Oversight Committee, Robert Garcia, is super pissed.
Interesting.
So he came out and said, and this is from MS Now, she had a subpoena in place to show up today. Just because she's not the attorney general right now, that's no excuse for her not to come in. She was the mastermind of this White House cover-up, Garcia said, saying that her failure to appear is grounds for contempt. The California Democrats said that the House Oversight Committee's chairman, James Rep. Comer, had been in contact with Bondi's private attorney and told Democrats he was attempting to reschedule the hearing. Garcia said, let's reschedule it. And if we don't hear back in the next couple of days, we're going to begin the contempt proceedings. It has to happen. People have to be held accountable for the laws that we pass in the Congress and the subpoenas that we put in place. When asked about the possibility of issuing a subpoena for the interim attorney general, Todd Blanche, Garcia told the co-hosts of This Week Tonight that at the moment, Democrats on the committee did not have the votes to compel him to testify, but in his role as deputy attorney general, Blanche had been very involved in the Epstein investigation, and he believes that they'll be able to get the votes at some point to get him to testify.
Well, yeah, because Blanche is like, we're done. There's nothing else for us to turn over, so we're done with this. Yeah.
And I'm like,
it was the first thing he said when Trump appointed him.
Absolutely. Also want to give a shout out, speaking of the Epstein files, to the federal judge that finally threw out the Trump lawsuit to the Wall Street Journal about the famous Epstein birthday letter.
Yes, with the pubes.
With the pubic signature. Yep. The $10 billion lawsuit.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the ridiculous amount of money that it was.
That's right. So we all know that if Pam Bondi is found to have done anything wrong, Trump will immediately pardon her. Like, we know that's going to happen. I'm fairly certain that he's going to plan on pardoning her anyway before he leaves office, because why wouldn't he?
Why not? Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, but I think he's holding out until the election before he decides that. So we'll see what happens there. Okay. I want to switch gears to a topic that for some of our listeners might be difficult. So I just want to give a warning that I do want to talk about the allegations against Eric Swalwell and Tony Garcia. They are sexual assault in nature. I know that we talk about the Epstein files and being a pedophile all the time. So I think you guys are well aware that we are against this no matter what the person is, no matter who the person is, whatever. But I want to talk about a story from CNN that gets a little bit graphic. And so giving you all fair warning that I would skip the next maybe 10 minutes of the podcast if you are not comfortable listening to this. Okay. For those of you who are, so Democrat Eric Swalwell and Republican Tony Garcia both resigned, although Tony Garcia said he retired from the House of Representatives this week. Swalwell was the Democrat and was the front runner for governor of California to replace Gavin Newsom. He had a former staffer accusing him of drugging her and having sex with her on 2 different occasions. She also accused him of sending lewd photos that were not solicited. 3 additional women came forward and said that Swalwell had sent them dick pics. The story is interesting that he says they had a completely consensual relationship, that yes, there were nights that she probably got too drunk that they had sex, but that at the end of the day, it was consensual, what have you. She said that no, the times that they had sex twice, and the 2 times that they had sex, it was not consensual, that she was drugged and passed out and et cetera, et cetera. There's a special election to replace him that's happening mid-August, but he went from rising star to in the toilet very quickly. Gonzalez, it was discovered, had an affair with a staffer in March. He, I guess, harassed her for nude photos, and there were text messages where she would tell him absolutely not. Again, he claims a completely consensual relationship. You ask her, oh, no, you can't, because she committed suicide last month.
Yeah.
But she very clearly was not eager to send the nude photos that he kept asking for. But the reason why I wanted to bring this up is, number one, I want to point out again that both Democrats and Republicans, regardless, are holding their people accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And if Republicans do not continue to do so with Trump and Epstein, I'm just going to lose my fucking mind. But second of all, there was a comment made by Nancy Mace when these 2 resigned, and there were a couple of other issues, where she said, Congress has a predator problem. No member of Congress should be using their title as a shield or taxpayer dollars as a cover-up. Staffers deserve a safe workplace. Constituents deserve honest representation. It's time to clean house. This is the same week that CNN exposed what they're calling the Rape Academy. And I'm here to tell Nancy Mace, it's not Congress that has a predator problem. Men have a predator problem. It doesn't matter the side of the aisle that you're on. It doesn't matter your political affiliation. I would love to believe that all Democrats are Barack Obama.
Right.
And all Democrats are
Bernie Sanders.
My father and my husband.
Yes.
I would love to believe that. But that is not the reality. It is not political in nature, and it is not partisan in nature. Men have a fucking predator problem.
Yes.
So here's the story on the Rape Academy. And I told people to rejoin us in 10 minutes. It's been 4 minutes, so I'm going to try and be fast about this.
Okay.
CNN exposed what they're calling the Rape Academy, where there are these private groups that exist all throughout the internet. Right now, a majority of them have moved to messaging app Telegram, but they were on other like different messaging boards all over the internet. Some porn websites, some non-porn websites, like it's all over. But here's from their article. At any hour, men from around the world are gathered on the ZZZ group to swap advice on drugging and then filming the sexual assault and rape of their partners while unconscious. The abuse shared via video and pictures in this group of nearly 1,000 users. And this is just one of several groups out there.
Platforms. Oh my God.
These pictures are treated as a commodity. So I guess these websites were exposed when Dominique Pellicot and 50 other men in southern France went on trial for mass rape and drugging. It was on a so-called dating website in a chat room called Without Her Knowledge that Pellicot was able to connect with dozens of other men to instigate the rapes of his then wife, Gazelle. While drugged and unconscious by him, she was raped over 200 times by 70 men, not all of whom could be tracked down by police. Okay. I had not heard this story.
You hadn't heard about her? Oh, shit. Yeah, no, she made huge headlines because of her willingness to bring it to the light and testify.
So CNN did this expose on what they call this Rape Academy, where men are, and thousands of users are finding out what types of drugs to use, what dosages are safe, and then they take pictures and they take videos that they share with each other online.
Jesus Christ.
This is why men think that, oh, it's okay for me to send nude pictures to whoever I want. Like, no, it's not, sir.
And this is what kills me, because there's always the fucking men that are like, not all men, hashtag not all men. I get not all men, but it's always a fucking man. And men
I know
have a problem holding other men accountable.
Yes, it's not all men, but it's enough men that all men know a man.
Yep. And so, yes.
And are they keeping themselves accountable? I enjoy sex as much as the next person. And am I willing to try the occasional, like, whatever, you know, thing? And I am not here to, if, Christy Noam's husband wants to wear boobies, I'm not here to judge that. You do you.
Yeah.
But this is sexual assault.
Yeah, we're not talking about yucking somebody's yum. We're talking about rape.
Yes.
And we're talking about men that normalize rape. And this phrase around, well, it was consensual. There's no such thing as consensual and non-consensual sex. There's either consensual sex or there's rape.
Yes. Well, and to your point, this is why I get so angry about the Epstein files.
Yes.
Is that you can't explain it away as, oh, Trump's just being funny talking about going into Miss Teen USA.
Right.
And looking at the girls.
Right.
That is not right.
That's predatory behavior.
That's predatory fucking behavior. Grabbing someone by the pussy is sexual assault.
Yes.
And I need us to have men start having conversations with each other about how gross that is.
And start calling it out.
Yep.
And call it what it is. It's sexual assault. It's rape. It's pedophilia. Quit dancing around it. Quit giving it funny names. Quit giving it, you know what I mean? To try to normalize it. Stop fucking normalizing it.
Yep. Okay. We went 1 minute over.
Oh, sorry.
I don't want to talk about this anymore, but I do, for anybody that has interest, to go out and read this CNN article.
So I knew about her, but I didn't know about the Academy part of it, like the website stuff. I didn't know about that.
there are multiple websites out there, and it is absolutely unhinged. So you can definitely read about it. Okay. Girl.
Yeah.
The DHS shut down.
Oh, yeah. Do you have
You said it before?
Yeah.
We are 60 days into the DHS shutdown.
Yeah.
Trump has now given Republicans a June 1st deadline to get ICE funded.
June 1st. Okay.
So now John Thune and Mike Johnson, who are supposed to be working to get the Senate, are supposed to be working on passing the original bill that, you know, had already been passed by one of the houses.
Yes.
Get it passed. They have still not scheduled the vote for that. And now they are focused on this reconciliation bill. So Thune and Johnson are desperately trying to get the Senate plan to fund everything except ICE through, you know, a vote. But again, they have not actually funded or scheduled that vote. And they're also trying to figure out how to pass this reconciliation bill that will fund ICE. So Thune has said, I am just going to introduce a very anorexic reconciliation bill to get ICE fucking funded because Trump has given us this June 1st deadline, and there's no way that we're going to be able to get everything figured out in time if we don't get this done by June 1st. That is not happening.
Oh.
Senator Rick Scott insisted Monday that spending cuts have to be made to offset all of the new law enforcement spending that they're wanting to put in for ICE. Senator Tommy Tuberville said he wanted to include money for the military and other GOP priorities.
Oh my God.
Senator John Kennedy argued a bunch of hot button GOP priorities as needing to be placed on the bill, especially because a lot of these are things that these people ran on.
And we're getting close to the midterms.
Indeed. Of course, now there are some that on the House's right that are insisting that Republicans fund all of DHS through the filibuster. This is from CNN, from the filibuster skirting reconciliation process, not just ICE and Border Patrol. So they want to tank the other bill and just put everything through reconciliation bill. Representative Chip Roy has said that he is threatening GOP leadership plan and saying that Thune's very skinny vision for the immigration funding bill is not going to happen. He posts on X, well, he isn't the only voice in this, is he? We should move other priorities with all of DHS. We're running out of time to deliver to clean up these repeated swamp messes. And now the DHS is coming in and saying that, by the way, remember how the World Cup's supposed to come this summer?
Yeah, that's in June.
That's in June, and we don't have enough agents, you know, TSA agents to man all the 16 cities. We don't have enough, like, law enforcement. We don't have enough. Right.
I love this. And I love the fact that they can't get their shit together amongst their own party.
Nicole.
This is fucking glorious.
I love
it.
You could not point to worse ineptitude than this right here.
Maybe
coming into these midterm elections.
Maybe Dr. Trump should come and try to lay hands.
Well, he did. He gave them a date, June 1st. But how dumb do we have to look?
Oh, God, I know.
To the rest of the world that we're like, we finally get the World Cup. We're finally blessed with the fucking World Cup.
We're going to win
it. We can't get our shit together enough to like get TSA working.
Well, and we're going to whiff the World Cup, and then the Olympic Committee is going to be like, can these stupid motherfuckers handle the Olympics in 28?
Right. That's exactly right. Because will Trump still be in office?
Yes. Yes, because there's summer games, and he'll be in office until the November 28 election.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this.
I know. How goddamn stupid do we look?
It's April 15th. They don't have time to fuck around.
No,
figuring out what they want to put in this bill.
So, right, DHS has already testified in front of Congress and basically said, "Hey, we're already fucked." Like they came in and said, so Christopher Tomney, who is serving as the federal government's senior coordinating official for the World Cup, and he's also some director of something or other, has testified that the shutdown has hindered our coordination with state and locals and reduced our planning efforts. He said that hundreds of unpaid TSA officers have quit during the DHS funding lapse, and we just can't replace that expertise overnight.
This is so great. This is so fucking great. Like, all of these tourists are going to... Well, but I guess the one good thing that's going to come out of that is then this should mean we don't have enough people in ICE to stand around outside the stadiums and at the bars and shit around the stadiums to try to, you know, steal people off the streets.
The number one reason that I'm sure Trump gave them a June 1st deadline is so that ICE can be funded by June 1st.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, probably. Yeah. So if they can't get their shit together, we at least have... this is hilarious.
So here's what is also glorious, and this is for Kansas City and specifically.
Okay.
Kansas City does not use TSA.
Right.
They have contracted security because for anybody that's flown in and out of Kansas City Airport, when they had the old airport, there was a gate at there was a checkpoint at every gate. So they had such a large requirement of security officers that Kansas City, they've always hired their own.
Yeah, privatized it. Yeah.
Yeah, privatized it. Which I'm wildly against, like, use government workers where you can. However, the fact is like Kansas City happens to be one of the 16 cities, and it's one of the cities that will actually go smoothly here in Kansas City. Yeah. Like, we hopefully will come out looking like motherfucking wonderful because we actually have the resources to handle.
Well, and we were one of the cities that didn't have all the TSA lines and shit when the shutdowns initially happened because they're privatized. But it's also what they want to do in Project 2021 is do that across.
That's right.
Across the U.S., but they don't have time to get that installed by June 1st.
No way. No way. So yeah, so
this
that's interesting.
It's going to be hilarious.
And Trump knows all this, as do all the lawmakers.
Yeah.
And yet he's spending his weekends at UFC. And creating AI images of him as Jesus.
And figuring out how to get McDonald's DoorDash to the White House.
Indeed. That's what we're focused on.
And rage tweeting at the Pope.
Speaking of rage tweeting, you had mentioned something about Trump posting on True Social another video that he posted.
Oh, yeah. Yes, this was late last week. I'll just tell this really fast. So I got it from the Daily Beast, but he shared surveillance video from a Fort Myers, Florida gas station that DHS's X account had posted as an example of crimes committed by undocumented immigrants. It's a distressing video of a man seen hitting a car with a hammer, prompting a woman, the gas station store clerk, to come out and approach the suspect. He says something about his fucking money and strikes her in the face with the hammer and continues hitting her in the head while she is down. Trump wrote in a lengthy post that he felt an obligation to share the video. I don't recommend you watch the tape because it is so terrible, but I felt I had an obligation to put it up so that people can see what Democrats are protecting and wanting to come into our country, even now, after all we've been through. Again, viewer discretion advised, not for children. So she died. He kills her in the video. And Trump posted the whole fucking thing. And you'll love this. DHS's video was still up as of publication, having garnered 1.8 million views. And White House spokeswoman Abigail Jackson said in response to a request for comment, "Of course the Daily Beast is more upset about the president sharing the truth than they are about criminal illegal aliens brutally, publicly murdering an innocent person. For years, the media has tried to conceal the dangers of Democratic policies enabling criminal illegal aliens to terrorize American communities. This heinous crime is not an outlier. President Trump will always share the truth with the American people, even when the media tries to hide it."
The truth. The truth.
Yes.
Because as Democrats, we want to protect murderers and drug dealers. That is our plan.
Yep.
Got it.
So he's out here posting, and the fact that DHS posted it on their X site and then he reposted it, like, Jesus Christ, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Okay, well, to your point, they all look like such buffoons that they aren't able to get any of this shit working. And now the World Cup's coming and our whole fucking country is a hot goddamn mess.
Yes.
Okay, that is what it is.
It's going to be great.
Tell me you have.
I do. I have a happy ending. And it's coming to us from Nebraska, from a hospital that one of my friends works at. So
nice.
It is about a little boy named True, who was born with a congenital heart disease that required surgery. The 4-year-old little boy met his anesthesiologist back in 2022 is when they first met. And he's in the foster care system. So on the day of his operation at Children's Nebraska Hospital, his social worker had COVID. So he was admitted for the surgery by himself. So this little bitty 4-year-old is coming in by himself to have this heart surgery. So, Dr. Amy, I'm going to probably butcher her last name, but I think it's Beathy, is the doctor. So anyway, his procedure
is the anesthesiologist?
Yes. His procedure took 7 hours, and she spent most of that time thinking about how he was by himself for this whole procedure. So she eventually contacted his caseworker to learn a little bit more about him. He had 6 siblings, 5 of whom were placed with a grandmother due to a domestic violence situation. None of them were thriving, and it was hard to find a permanent home for True, considering all of his medical needs. The social worker asked Amy if she was an option to be a permanent home for True. So she is currently a mom of 6 with 3 biological children, 3 who are adopted.
Oh my God.
She dropped him off in recovery after the surgery and immediately called her husband and said, I'm coming home and we need to have a very serious conversation and I need you to keep an open mind when we do it. So she goes home. She tells her husband about this little 4-year-old boy. He comes into the hospital, meets him, falls in love with him. Done deal. Okay, it gets even fucking better. So then they realize how close he is with his other siblings. She took it upon herself to find them homes so the kids could all stay connected. Her sister adopted one of his sisters. Her sister-in-law's family adopted another. A coworker adopted 2 more of the siblings. And then Amy and her husband decided to take in one of True's sisters. So they actually took him and one of his sisters. So all 6 of them found homes with people where they can all still see each other, be together, be siblings.
Oh,
that's fucking
awesome.
Yes. Yeah. It's amazing. So yeah, it's wild, but like how awesome that she took it upon herself to like find him a home with her.
Yeah.
Again, one of his sisters, but then she found the rest of them homes too. You know what I mean?
Especially like in her orbit so that she can make sure that they all stay close.
Yes.
Oh, that's sweet.
I know. Isn't that great? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I had for you today.
That's a nice happy ending.
Yeah.
Better than the Trump is Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, she really is out here doing the Lord's work. Not
making
Trump.
The world better.
Yeah. Yeah. Not
she
just
probably was even a Red Cross doctor at one time.
Exactly. Yeah, she's not just out here cosplaying.
Exactly.
On social media as a healer. She actually
the kids are calling it LARPing now. Like, you remember
is it LARPing,
like LARPing live action role play?
Yeah.
I think we're using that as slang to be like
cosplaying. I guess cosplay, is that more just like when you dress up and go to like Comic-Con, but LARPing is when you're actually role playing it. Yeah.
Yes, which I play role playing games. I do not LARP. That's too much. That's a level too far. But now like they're using it for slang and I'm like,
I'm not a LARPer, God damn it.
I'm not a LARPer, you guys. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, that was a lovely happy ending. Thank you very much for that. Almost less than 200 days to the midterm elections makes me ecstatic.
Yes.
This has been a wild week.
Yeah, it has
AI images and videos and posts, and we'll see what the next week brings with Iran, with Pope Leo, and with Pammy Joe. And what new revelation comes of it.
Yes.
Okay. With that said, we would love it if you guys liked and subscribed to our channel. Please share it wide and broadly. We try and, really appeal to your uncle who loves Trump. Feel free to share with him.
Who is not willing to hold other men accountable for their bad behavior.
That's right. That is our demographic right there. You're exactly right. With that said, we hope you all have a fabulous weekend. We love you. Goodbye.
Bye.